Why does your urologist smile while handing you a prescription for a pill that destroys your sexual function just so you can pee a few drops more than yesterday? He smiles because he knows that once you start taking Flomax or Finasteride, you are a customer for life, trapped in a cycle of managing symptoms while the underlying organ continues to rot. They want you to believe that an enlarged prostate is just a natural part of aging, like grey hair or wrinkles, and that every man will eventually face the humiliation of adult diapers. They want you to accept that waking up 5 times a night to stand over the toilet waiting for a weak, dribbling stream is just your new normal. This is a medical deception designed to mask a hormonal crisis that is causing a walnut-sized gland to swell up to the size of a grapefruit, crushing your urethra. Your prostate is not growing because you are old. It is growing because it is being poisoned by a toxic byproduct of your own testosterone that your body can no longer clear. You do not have a plumbing problem. You have a hormonal trash compaction problem caused by estrogen dominance and a lack of specific protective fats. The medical industry calls this benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, but they treat it by chemically castrating you or chemically relaxing your bladder, neither of which shrinks the gland itself. When you take their alpha blockers, you risk retrograde ejaculation, dizziness, and permanent damage to the delicate muscles that control your flow. I'm going to show you how to block the poison, shrink the gland back to its normal size, and sleep through the night like a teenager again. We are going to use a specific green oil pressed from a common seed and a saw blade extract from a palm tree to perform a hormonal reset on your pelvis. No dangerous surgeries that risk incontinence and impotence, no emasculating drug side effects, and no more planning your life around the nearest bathroom. To understand the cure, you must understand the enemy. Dihydrotestosterone, or DHT, the super-potent form of testosterone that causes growth. Testosterone is the fuel of manhood, but an enzyme in your body called 5-alpha reductase converts it into DHT, which is 10 times stronger. When you are young, your body manages this conversion perfectly, but as you age, the check engine light breaks and DHT floods the prostate gland. DHT binds to the receptors on the prostate cells and screams at them to multiply, causing the gland to swell and choke off the urinary tube. Your urologist ignores this root cause and gives you drugs that either block the conversion systemically, ruining your mood and muscle, or just relax the tube temporarily. You do not need to nuke your entire hormonal system. You need a targeted DHT blocker that works specifically in the prostate tissue. The most powerful natural DHT blocker found on Earth is hidden in the dark green oil pressed from raw pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seed oil is rich in unique plant sterols, specifically delta-7 sterols, that structurally mimic DHT and block it from binding to the prostate receptors. It acts like a biological shield, coating the prostate cells so the DHT bounces off instead of triggering the growth signal. But it also contains a massive dose of zinc, the prostate mineral, which is essential for the health of the gland's fluid production. A normal prostate has 10 times more zinc than any other organ in the body. When you are deficient in zinc, the gland swells up in self-defense. Pumpkin seed oil provides the protective fats to block the growth and the essential minerals to repair the existing damage simultaneously. But to truly shrink the gland fast, you must combine the oil with the saw blade extract that stops the DHT from being made in the first place. This extract comes from the berries of the Saw Palmetto tree, a small palm that grows in the harsh swamps of Florida. Saw Palmetto is nature's version of Finasteride, but without the devastating sexual side effects that ruin men's lives. It works by inhibiting the 5-alpha reductase enzyme, effectively turning down the volume on the conversion of testosterone into toxic DHT. Clinical studies in Europe, where herbal medicine is respected, have shown that Saw Palmetto is just as effective as prescription drugs for improving urinary flow. A famous meta-analysis, published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, reviewed 18 randomized controlled trials involving nearly 3,000 men. The results proved that Saw Palmetto extract improved urologic symptoms and flow measures significantly compared to a placebo, equaling the results of the drug Proscar. But the American medical system buries this data because you cannot patent a berry that grows wild in the swamp. To perform the prostate shrink protocol, You need a high-quality supplement that combines both pumpkin seed oil and standardized Saw Palmetto extract. You need at least 320 milligrams of Saw Palmetto daily, standardized to contain 85% fatty acids and sterols to ensure potency. You must combine this with at least 1,000 milligrams of cold-pressed pumpkin seed oil to provide the protective delta-7 sterols. But taking the supplements is only half the battle. You must also stop feeding the estrogen bomb that is making your prostate sensitive to DHT. As men age, their testosterone drops and their estrogen rises, especially if they carry belly fat, which acts as an estrogen factory. This high estrogen environment makes the prostate cells hypersensitive to DHT, causing them to grow even faster. You must eliminate the fake estrogens from your diet, starting with soy products that contain genistein and didzine. You must stop drinking beer, which is loaded with highly potent phytoestrogens from the hops used for flavoring. Beer is literally Man-Boob Juice. Limit dairy products from commercially raised cows, as they are often loaded with bovine growth hormones that confuse your own endocrine system. You must also look at your insulin levels, because high insulin from a high-carb diet is a direct growth factor for prostate tissue. Insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, screams at the prostate to get bigger every time you eat a donut or a bowl of pasta. Switch to a low-carb, high-fat diet to lower insulin and starve the growth signals while the herbs do their work. Add cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and Brussels sprouts to your diet, which contain DIM, diindolyl methane, to help your liver flush out excess estrogen. When you combine the DHT blockade, pumpkin, Saw Palmetto, with the estrogen detox, diet DIM, you create an environment where the prostate has no choice but to shrink. You will know it is working when you realize you slept 6 hours straight without needing to get up. You will know it is working when you stand at the urinal and produce a strong, steady stream instead of a hesitant dribble that takes forever to finish. The feeling of incomplete emptying, that sensation that there is still urine left in the bladder, will vanish. Your urologist will be baffled when your PSA, prostate-specific antigen, score drops back into the normal range without his intervention. He will warn you that these natural remedies are unproven, even though they have been used successfully for centuries before his drugs existed. He wants to book the operating room for a TURP procedure, where they roto-rooter your prostate out through your penis. He doesn't tell you about the high rates of incontinence and the fact that many men never have a normal erection again after the surgery. You have the power to save your organ and your dignity by addressing the hormonal imbalance at its source. The prostate is a resilient gland that wants to return to its normal size if you stop poisoning it. Do not accept the narrative of inevitable decline and dependence on diapers and catheters. The solution is in the green oil, the saw berry, and the estrogen detox. Block the signal, shrink the gland, and open the flow. This is the reversal of the prostate curse, and we do not accept the weak stream, we flow freely.